Brigitte Bardot is a myth built on deep fragility.
Elle est où, ma mère? Elle est partie où?
I've never read anything like this before. And
Jack, I'll do my turn.
in
and
what?
John
Oh, cool.
at the same time.
Hello and welcome to Arts 24's film show, where we look at the French films of the moment, and we're kicking off with a documentary on one of France's most explosive cultural icons, Brigitte Bardot. Director Elora Thevenet joins us in the studio along with our film critic Manon Kerjean from Lost in French-lation. Welcome to both of you. It's a pleasure to have you on the programme. Now, Bardot wasn't just a star, she was a phenomenon, but she doesn't really like the media. How did you get access to her?
So, Brigitte Bardot, first, my co-producer had the access to her to do a documentary about her. And me, since I was a kid, I was doing voluntary work for all the foundation and association for animal rights. And she even wrote me a letter when I was a teenager to thank me for doing the video. And I answered in one of my letters saying that I wish her to play in one of my scripts. And she said she would never get back on cinema. And thankfully, now she is in this documentary after more than half a decade being not in the cinema. She's going to be back today.
But she didn't actually give an interview face on, did she? You filmed her from behind and just her voice.
Yes, because Brigitte Bardot, she's not so much interested in herself. She's focusing more about animal rights and the cause. So she agreed to have her voice, and this was really important because her voice is, we call it in French the red line. I don't know if you say like this in English. So all the, her voice is going with all the movie.
Yeah, it's sort of the voice that goes all the way through.
Thank you very much. But we didn't agree on filming, and during the shooting, we asked her, and we could have some images thanks to the animals, because we filmed with a horse, a cat, and this is how we get some footage of her.
Okay, well, she was, in her time, a symbol of freedom, of beauty and rebellion. She rewrote the rules of femininity before turning her back on fame to fight fiercely for animal rights. Let's take a look now at the trailer for Bardot.
Ma vie a été plusieurs vies.
She was a dancer, she was a model, an actress, a singer.
Bardot was definitely an iconic image. La gloire, c'est formidable et c'est invivable.
It's not love anymore, it's rage.
Brigitte Bardot is a myth built on deep fragility.
Et voilà ce qu'on tue.
Well, she understands the power of celebrity.
Bardot went one step too far for French anti-racist organizations.
Je me fous qu'on se souvienne de moi, mais ce que je voudrais, c'est qu'on se souvienne du respect qu'on doit aux animaux.
So, Elora, the film offers an intimate portrait of someone who is both admired and misunderstood, a woman who was often ahead of her time. It looks at her legendary artistic career, of course, as a cultural icon who changed how women were seen on screen, and her later life as a passionate defender of animal rights. The documentary feels quite classic, almost too classic, in my opinion, given Bardot's reputation. So why did you choose to approach such an iconic figure with so many different sides?
So it was important that the public could meet Bardot, like going to the cinema, because she doesn't speak anymore about her intimacy or things like this. She just speaks of the animal rights. And so I wanted that the public, I had the luck to meet her, and I wanted the public also to be able to meet her with the documentary. This is why we talk about everything. It's quite hard to talk about Bardot in 1 hour and 30 minutes because there is so many things to say. So there is people who want us to talk about the cinema, and then about the animal rights, and then about the freedom of love, of walking, of dressing. So there's a lot, and also what she did with women. So there is so many subjects. She's so plural that it could have taken more time. But in 1 hour 30, we try to speak about everything. She answered to everything without any taboo, without any filter, on every subject, even the controversial thing. And this was really important. She's also coming from another generation when the freedom of speech was different, when you could do generality and then people were filtering and understanding what you meant. But in the documentary, I think it's beautiful because she apologized, because the only thing that she wanted was to defend animal and not hurt anyone. Mm-hmm. And me, who met her, I know that she's someone super sensitive, empathic. She's also really real. Like, you really meet her, she's authentic. And so I think it's what is in the documentary, and I think it's what people will see and meet her one more time right now.
So here in France, she is a controversial figure. She's been convicted for inciting racial hatred several times. But in the film, we see Naomi Campbell and Stella McCartney, as well as Claude Lelouch, talking about her, praising what she did for cinema for women. Was it easier to convince international celebrities, more easy than it was to get French people to talk about her?
So I don't know if it was easy because, you know, they have a lot of things to do. And going into a documentary is also giving their time when they have a lot of things to do. But we had a beautiful casting. I think we are really lucky. The idea to go also international was to show that Brigitte Bardot, she had an impact also worldwide. And we tried to choose celebrity that represent because, as I said before, she's super plural. So we try to find people regarding every thematic. So Stella McCartney, for instance, she is vegan. She has a vegan brand for fashion. So we choose her because of that. Also, her dad was one of the most famous men in the world. So she can understand also the celebrity and the pressure of the press and of the public, like around her father, as around Bardot. Also, Marina Abramovic is for the freedom of the body. Also, she told me when she was a kid, she tried to break her nose to have the same as Bardot with a lot of picture in her pocket. But then her mom didn't bring her to the surgeon, so it didn't work. So we try to find also like international people to show how much she's plural.
Okay, well, there have actually been quite a lot of concerns recently about Brigitte Bardot's health. The 91-year-old's been in hospital in the south of France, but now she's returned home where she's recovering from an operation. I wanted to ask you, has she seen the film? Has she told you what she thinks about it, Elora?
Yes. So one thing about Brigitte Bardot is that she really doesn't care about herself. She just cares about animals. So, for instance, when she was seeing the images on the screen, what she was super happy is when she was seeing herself with her cat, or what she was super moved, like when she see the baby seals or things like that. But about herself, she doesn't care. So why the documentary is important to her is that a lot of people could see it, to hear her voice speaking for the one who doesn't have voice, which are animals.
Okay, Elora, thank you so much. Your film is in French cinemas from this week. It's called Bardot. We're going to turn to something completely different now. It's called Les Enfants Vont Bien, or Out of Love. It's directed by Nathan Ambrosioni. Tell us more.
I absolutely loved it. Ambrosioni is only 26 and he already has such a mature, delicate way of filming families. The movie follows a woman who suddenly disappears, leaving her sister to care for her 2 young children and to piece together what could have pushed her to walk away from her own life. And the emotional intelligence of the script is really remarkable.
What makes it stand out for you then?
Well, 2 things. First, its authenticity, and secondly, the performances. Camille Cotin, whom many of you will know from Call My Agent, 10% in French, gives one of her best roles. Funny, vulnerable, extremely real. And Juliette Armanet, who's mostly known in France as a singer, has this quiet, bright presence that brings so much depth. And the film captures tiny, everyday moments, preparing dinner, music in the living room, arguments that aren't really about the arguments. It feels almost documentary-like, but with a warmth and humor that give it a very cinematic charm. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Je suis fatiguée.
On se parlera demain. On prendra le temps.
Hello, ma mère. Elle est partie où?
J'ai l'impression que votre sœur, elle était à bout et qu'elle est partie.
Suzanne?
Ça ressemble plus à une disparition volontaire qu'à une disparition inquiétante.
Donc vous allez pas aller la chercher?
Non.
Je sais que c'est difficile à concevoir, mais
Parfois, on peut laisser les gens qu'on aime par amour.
Maman, c'est tout?
Well, it certainly looks like one of those family films that really stays with you. Next, then, Tunisian-French director Abdelatif Kechiche is best known for the Palme d'Or-winning Blue is the Warmest Colour and his raw, naturalistic filmmaking. He returns after several years of silence since Mektoub, My Love, Canto Uno in 2018, with its long-awaited follow-up, Mektoub, My Love, Canto Due. Tell us more.
Well, he returns to the exact same summer with the same characters and the same energy. It follows Amine returning to set in the south of France after studying in Paris. He's still dreaming of making films, and by chance, an American producer on vacation takes an interest in his project. So in theory, it's a continuation of Canto Uno, but it's also a long reflection on desire, bodies, and destiny.
OK, it sounds like classic Kechiche for sure.
It is, but it's also one of his most divisive films, and for me, it really didn't work. His long takes, which can be powerful when they're driven by tension or emotion, become here almost a style exercise. Scenes are stretching endlessly, characters are drifting in and out, and the narrative barely moves.
OK, so it's very long. Are there any moments that stand out for you?
Absolutely. There are one or two scenes where desire feels truly electric, where the camera captures that intensity that Kechiche is known for. And the young actors give everything. Shane Boumediene is magnetic, and Ophélie Beau brings a lot of fragility. But overall, I feel like the film is overwhelmed by its own concept, and it might have been released a bit too long after Canto Uno.
OK, well, thank you so much. It sounds like it's definitely one for Kechiche devotees, but maybe a challenge for other audiences. Thank you, Manon, for guiding us through French cinema once again. Thank you to today's guest, the director Elora Thevenet, whose film Bardot is out in cinemas this week. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now we're going to leave you with a final look then at Kechiche's new film, Mektoub, My Love, Canto Due. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Donc vous êtes tous ici du coup.
6 natifs de 7.
C'est mon petit cousin, il écrit des scénarios, il fait de la photo.
C'est mon futur copain, moi. Jessica Patterson, eh ben, elle vient d'arriver avec son mari. Elle est moins belle qu'à la télé. Moi, je m'attendais à mieux.
Sophie, alors.
Amine, he wants to make cinema.
I will read his screenplay.
And we make